Hey gang, I'm back, and today we got part 2 of the Williams Hotline Pinball Saga. So, got this bad boy right behind me here, and you can see it's kind of lit up, and that's the good. The bad, I still can't get a reset on the game. So, working on that, but I figured I'm at the halfway point of finishing up this game, and I wanted to give you guys an update. So why don't we look into this and tell you what, we'll start off with the back box first. So here we go. Okay, so here we are at the back box and just going to give you an overall view here. I'm sure it looks much better than it did originally. You can see I have fixed all the wires that had the squirrel wheel damage. This looks a lot better. Wires here for the match unit. And last time I think I showed you the credit reel here, or replay reel, and I put the guard back on, and now we got all the score wheels done. And like I said, that match unit sure looks a lot better. Score wheels were pretty much standard fare fixing. This one right here, however, that one had some extra stuff I had to do to it just because it was so torn up by the squirrels. I ended up putting a new coil in that one. I also had to put a new body on it because someone had twisted where the spring goes, the little post, and hacksawed into it just to get a spring off. So that wasn't going to cut it anymore. As far as the match unit here, it had a lot of issues as well. You can see in here we got a new coil. Also I had to put a new plunger in there. It's got a new coil sleeve. It's got a good used coil stop in it. And I had to put those in because this arm over here, probably hard to see. Try to get in there. There we go. Anyway, the arm right in here was off because there wasn't a spacer here, and so I had to get a couple washers and shim that up because it was moving back and forth about 1/8 of an inch, and it caused a lot of wear and actually bent up some of the stuff like the coil stop and the coil plunger. It actually had ruined that. So bad news, but you can see compared to the last video how nice and shiny it is now. Taken completely apart, rebuilt, put a new spring in here as well. With all the wires and everything, I went through it, and with me being able to get power to the game, I was able to test and make sure that all the wires were connected up correctly, and they are. So I compared it to the schematic, and everything worked out well. And also with the ball count unit, I got to check that out, and everything turned out great. Goes 1 to 5 balls and game over. So I'm assuming that everything was hooked up the first time correctly 100%. But I'll get more into that once I can finally get a game going on here and that and confirm that. Now, I had a couple Pinsiders end up getting me some pictures of this match unit, but I couldn't use it because the wires were different. So I had to rely completely on the schematic. And that's fine. It worked out. So like I said, I did the test and everything seems pretty good from there. And all down here is fine. So basically the back box is finished. So happy with it. Came out nice and neat. Big difference from when you guys first saw this. So onward, why don't we go check out what's on the inside of the cabinet now. Alright, so here we are with the new and improved inside of the cabinet. Improved because I actually got to vacuum it out after I took out the motor board. So let's take a glance here at what we're looking at. I think already you can tell it's much cleaner than it was. And things that have been done, as you can see in the back there, we got the 5-inch bell. It's installed, hooked up. Just did some cleaning on that. Didn't have to really replace any parts, just took it apart, cleaned it. And it's a new power cord there. I will be redoing this here. I think what I'm going to do is put an inline fuse, something that early games didn't have. Get a 5 amp slow blow fuse on that. And I'm also going to run a on-off switch on these, because these have over here where you bang on the bottom of the cabinet to shut it off. And well, my hand really doesn't like that. When you get older, you're going to find that out yourself, that it's no fun banging the heck out of the bottom of the cabinet just to turn a game off. So, as per the later Williams games, a on-off switch will go right here in the corner of the front of the cabinet. And I'll make it look like it was stock 70s one, and I know some of you guys will say, oh no, you got to drill a hole in the bottom. It's like, well, yeah, I do, but this game's already had some stuff done to it. It's not cherry by any means, but it'll be a nice functioning game, and I think the on-off switch will definitely be an asset to it, and I'll also put a ground with that as well. So let's see what else. So I cleaned all this. Between the back box and this bottom motor board, I probably went through 2 rolls of paper towels just to get all the grease off. A lot of grease, a lot of oil. Just really bad, yucky news. You can tell that score motor there sure came out nice and clean in that. Backing off a little bit here. If you remember, we had a toasty lock coil here. I replaced that with a good used one. Everything's great. Also on this coin relay, I had to install a new switch there. The old one was blown up because someone had grounded a hot wire to the coin door and left it that way. So getting to that, part of my problem, what I said about not being able to reset the game, is because on the score motor here, I think it's on this stack, I have a couple really burnt switches, and I cleaned them, I got the grease off, but I think there's a carbon coat on them, and I'm going to have to pull this motor board out again and go through those switches. Now, I might have to replace a couple of those switches because they were bad. They could, upon closer inspection, they might be blown up as well, but luckily I have a parted out score motor from I believe a Williams Klondike, and I could probably pull a few used switches off of there if I have to. Only problem being I have to make sure that the nylon spacers are the correct size. That's the only drawback. So I'll see if I can repair these first. If I can't, then well, you know, I'll just replace them. Let's go and check out the Playfield next, shall we? Okay, so we got the Playfield here. It's out on the operating table. Yes, I expanded from the round table to the big table. Had to be done. And what I've done is, starting from the top here, the upper apron was taken off and cleaned. All the metal pieces here, like ball gate and that, taken off. Vapor rust, chrome polish, blah blah blah. Everything put back on. I cleaned and waxed under there, so that's actually done. Sometimes I do that. I'll do sections of Playfield rather than doing the whole thing at once. If I go down here to the bottom, the same thing. All below the flippers was cleaned, waxed, and done, so I could put back all this stuff. You know, like the kicker here. Ball kicker, because I took that apart, cleaned that all up, and all this other metal pieces that you see for the ball and that, and shooter lane and that. So took these things off too. They were pretty rusted. I went over this with naphtha and magic eraser, and oopsie, I broke a button. Oh well. And now my motto is, if I break it, I fix it. So guess what? I'll fix it. Only thing I have to do on the top here, I need to pull off these flippers, and I need to pull off the pop bumpers because I'm going to be rebuilding those. But everything else has been cleaned, even the switches on top, the light sockets, all that's ready to go. I got 3 new buttons for the grid here, so I'm covered as far as those. I probably need all 3 at this point, so we got 1, 2, I think this one might have to be replaced, it's leaning. I'll check into it. Maybe down the line we'll get all new buttons, we'll see. It adds up. One thing I don't have in here that I do have out in the shed is a tumbler with all the Playfield screws and all that in there, and they're going to be nice, bright, and shiny now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that motor board out and throw this up here next to get to that squirrel motor and try to fix that situation, the reset, and then I'll put the Playfield back up here on the bottom side up and start working on that. Well folks, that's going to do it for now. Hopefully next time I'll have the machine being able to reset, be a little further along with the Playfield, and hopefully have some good news to report in general. So until then, you folks go play some old-time pinball and have some fun doing that, and I'll catch you next time. Have a good one now.